Hello everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a very good guide in helping you. This method works to stop shopping. I get so many messages on Instagram. Probably most recently, the most popular one is, how is it that I'm able to not spend money or shop within the quarantine time, because online shopping sales has skyrocketed because everyone, for the most part, is home, and it's just really tempting to buy a lot of things you don't need during, quarantine, because we're on social media a lot. And this guide is foolproof. If you take everything I say in this video, this is going to be the video that I reference in the future again and again and again. Granted, in the future I might, discover new things and want to add to it. But if you take all the advice in this video step by step, because I've been through it, right? It's been years to come to this point, and implement it into your life in a lifestyle format. So don't try to do this in a day. It's not going to stick. You can get your mind flowing within a day and try to make notes and think about some of the topics and the tips that I'm going to be sharing with you. It is a comprehensive guide, but it will work and it will help you. It will start you off into the right direction. So let's begin. The first one that I highly recommend, if you haven't done it already, is to unsubscribe from those emails that you get in your inbox when there's a promotion or a deal. Companies love to blast those at you, and if you think about it, every day I'm pretty sure we all check our emails at least once or twice for the day. And if you were to go through that every single day, even once, you're going to be seeing ads from all different types of brands. And that is unnecessary to your eyes, I think. You don't necessarily need all that information all the time. So I highly recommend unsubscribing. It's that theory of limiting temptation or trying to avoid it, and also out of sight, out of mind. If you don't know a company or a brand is having like buy one, get one free, you're not going to be tempted to spend your money or even click to go onto their website. So the very first thing I think is important is to unsubscribe from company or brand emails. To add to point number one, I highly recommend to unfollow influencers and brands that tempt you to purchase. Again, out of sight, out of mind. I went through my Instagram account many years ago. I unfollowed all the brands that I liked. I mean, I still like the brand, but I don't need to see their new products all the time, right? All the influencers that, don't really like that word, but anyone that was peddling products all the time, I don't follow them anymore. And on YouTube, I very much downsized who I watch. I curate that to a T, and I know all the videos that specific content creators are going to put out is geared towards what inspires me, what is aspirational, and what means a lot to me, versus having to constantly feel like I'm throwing products all the time. Because if, again, out of sight, out of mind, if you're not tempted, then you're not going to buy it. So those are the first two tips that I have when it comes to temptation. To go over very briefly, unsubscribe to brand emails in your inbox, in your email box, and unfollow people across all social medias. I'm talking Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of it. TikTok, I'm not on that, but Snapchat, all of it. Unfollow people so you out of sight, out of mind. So we're gonna get a little financial here. This is the grind of it, but you have to do it. So number 3 is to create a monthly budget. This is important. If you don't have the accounting of what is coming in and what is leaving, then you don't really know the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You don't know how much is in it. So you have to sit down and do a monthly budget if you've never done one before. All your expenses, calculate all your expenses, then calculate all the money that you make, right? and deduct it. See if you end up with a plus or a minus. And I mean basic essentials. You have to include your mortgage or your rent, your bills, your car payments, all of it. All of it. Include every dollar, food. Learn what number it requires for you to live. That is the key. That is the key. I will link to the Amazon page for Dave Ramsey. I read his book, Total Money Makeover, and that was, it very much was a like in your face kind of book, but financially, but in a good way. It's saying, you know, you have to take care of yourself in this way no matter what age. There's no late age and there's no early age to this. This is just knowledge we need to have, and you need to know that number at the end of every month, how much it requires for you to live. So number 4 is to start paying off all of your debt. This is a key element in his book, Dave Ramsey's book, is to pay off your debt. If you owe credit card debt, if you have a car loan, I know mortgages are really, really expensive. It's kind of hard to sort of dedicate time to just that and that alone, but it is doable, and it should be your main focus if you do have a mortgage. So that one is a long-term process though, right? But whatever it is that you can pay off, like start with the small debts and then make your way up to the larger ones. It will give you momentum. Once you start paying off one bill to the next bill to the next one, it will give you momentum and it will feel good. It will feel good. And when you start paying off your debts, you're going to realize that all the money you've been allocating elsewhere should have been going towards debt repayment if you have a lot of it. And when you get that number, when you calculate your budget, that is the most important thing I think you can do for yourself this year if you haven't done it already. And again, even if you're a student, even if you're a senior, and everything in between, there's no early, no late time to figure this number out, because it always changes throughout our lives, right? So, depending on our, expenses. So try your best to pay off your debts first. Which brings me to number 5. And this is the portion after you've calculated your budget, after you've paid off your debts. You're going to know that sweet spot. You're going to know that sweet number that you have in terms of extra income. And I'm talking $20, $50, $100, whatever that number is for you. Now you can create a no-buy or a low-buy budget every month. If you know you don't have extra money after you've created your budget, after you're paying off your debt repayments, if that is the goal and you don't have extra money, well then you're automatically in the category of a no-buy. And that is easy. So now you know you're not going to be tempted to go and shop, and purchase things that you don't need. If you are in the category of a low buy, you know this is discretionary income. And I don't know about you, but I do feel it feels really hard to spend that money when you know, okay, well, I've paid X, Y, and Z, I saved X, Y, and Z, so now I have this little bit of extra, play money for my beauty budget. I don't want to just go spend it on any and anything. Now you become really selective. And I am very picky when it comes to products. It has to be great quality for a really good price. I don't mind paying a higher price for good quality, but again, it comes down to quality. So when you know that number with your budget, you've paid off you're paying off repayment for your debts, and you do have an extra little bit of cash flow, then you're going to become really, really good at research, right? You're going to know what it is you want. You're going to look to see if you really need it. And if you don't have that extra money, you are automatically in the category that month of a no-buy. The next topic I like to call alternatives versus spending. What I mean by this is, let's say you fall into the category of no-buy. Like you've done that calculation, you don't have the extra money to spend. You have to be resourceful now. Something that you really want, try to think if there's a way you can get it without spending money. And a good example is samples. Maybe you should go get a sample when the pandemic is done. Maybe you know someone who has the product and you can ask for a sample. Or perhaps you just don't feel the need to purchase it quite yet. Another way to do it is to do a lot of research, or read a lot of blogs, watch some videos on a product, try to maybe exchange a product with a friend or someone you really trust, a family member, because of the pandemic right now. And the meaning behind this is to think of alternatives versus spending. So you don't have the extra cash right now, but you need the product. Be resourceful. Try to think of all the alternatives before spending your money. This is a very good frugal tip, by the way. And if you have the extra money, you should still try to use this point and maximize it, because maybe you're not being resourceful. Maybe you're just being quick at spending your money before you could actually save it and think of what can replace it before you go and spend it. Try to flex that resourceful muscle and implement, contacting people. I think there's really great sites too, like websites where you can exchange product. So you can exchange something and you can get something in return, something you're not using for something you do want. That's very good and sustainable for the environment as well. So those are all really good resourceful alternatives versus spending your money. The next tip is something I mentioned in a past video, actually about a year ago. I could link to that video in the description box below, although it feels like I filmed that a really long time ago. And that is to reduce your screen time. So now we're moving into social media a little bit. Talked about out of sight, out of mind, to reduce temptation. We talked a little bit about money mindset, talked about being resourceful a little bit. Now we're going to switch and I'm talking about social media. Reduce your screen time. I have a timer. There is a timer on Instagram, by the way, where you can log in, and I use the 15-minute one. I don't spend more than 15 minutes on Instagram, and it's because of the scroll and swipe button, right? We're so used to that, and you have to sort of try to discipline yourself and retrain the neurons in your mind to not be tempted by what you see on Instagram. So reduce your screen time, and that is all across the board, whether you use social media on your laptop, your cell phone, any device really. You need to start limiting your screen time, and it will be very uncomfortable at first. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this and say it's super easy, because it's an addiction, and like any other addiction, it is really difficult in the beginning, but once you get a grip on it, you feel really good when you can control this aspect to your life. And then, at least for me, when I broke the spell, I thought to myself, I was like, wow, well, look at how much time I was spending on that. I could allocate that time to something that's a lot more productive for my long-term success, right? So reduce your screen time. What I found to be the best replacement for not being on social media is actually, especially now in the pandemic, is to read more books. And I mentioned this in another video, but in particular, what I think will help make this stick to stop spending your money is to read more self-help and self-development books. I'm a huge believer in self-development. I think that has to come innately from within yourself, and it's not just to evolve your money mindset, it's to evolve your heart and your personality to become a more compassionate person, to have an understanding to the world around you. And I don't mean just your community, but all around the world, the way people live, the livelihood of being a global citizen, how important that is, because I don't think borders really exist anymore in today's society. There's a lot of global, trading, incoming, outgoing trade, that we can't really say we're just one country anymore. We're an entire global community. So you have to enrich your mind to know what it feels like for other people around the world, because in the likelihood in the future you might be on a plane going to that country. So self-development comes from being aware, being understanding, being kind, being compassionate, being loving, being open-minded. And you cannot receive those gifts if you do not read truly. Or right now we cannot go outside and interact as much as we used to, but we will soon, very, very soon. I know it. But right now, try to read more. And actually, when you start to read, when you replace reading versus screen time, it's uncomfortable, because guess what? You haven't sat down for a really long time to read. So for half an hour every day, make that your goal, and you'll start to develop more stillness, being still. I think we're in a time where we are very fidgety. Like it's almost like everyone's suffering from needing instant gratification. So the long run is not the road most traveled. It's actually the road least traveled, but that's the road we need to be on, right? So reduce your screen time, develop your mind, read more books, read more self-help books. In the long run, it's going to be the best replacement for time spent on spectating other people's lives, really. Next tip is actually hand in hand with the previous money mindset, which is to save your money. If you're being resourceful and you could save your money, it's really important. I read a statistic not too long ago that said about 60 or 65% of millennials don't have any retirement plans. They don't even think about retirement. They don't even understand what retirement is or what it may look like. And that's a really large number when you think of the population. And it's really important to save your money, because I mentioned in another video, saving your money is a form of self-care. You have to take care of yourself, just like you need to pay attention to other parts of your life. This is an important one too. There's a time and there's a place to spend, but remember that you also have to put the dedication towards saving your money. This is a very important, essential life trait. And you don't have to be young. You have compound interest at your disposal when you're young, to your advantage, I should say. But at any age, at any time, don't think of a number to limit yourself, and don't beat yourself up. Saving comes at any age, and it's always better to save than it is to spend. I always think that. And it's amazing how that mind switch happens, where, before I used to think I needed something to feel happy, and now I much prefer having that money saved, because in the future I could still purchase it, but if I buy it today, I'm not going to have that money to buy it tomorrow or something else tomorrow. So save your money. Next is to think and dream big. So if you've gone through every step, and I hope you do it, maybe dedicate a month to each point, because it's a lifestyle change. When you come to the part where you're starting to save, I want you to think and dream big. I'm a huge believer in two things. If I have done it once, it's possible. Also, if I see someone achieve something, then I know it's possible. And therefore, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for my dreams. I'm going to work really hard. And that, again, falls into the second point of thinking and dreaming big, is I know I'm in charge of my work ethic. As long as I work really hard at something, I know I can achieve it. And it comes from me. And it has to authentically come from a place of being good to other people too. Thinking and dreaming big does not mean that you interrupt what other people have going for them. You have to be happy for people. You have to help people if you're in a position to help them. And you have to think and dream big for yourself and go for it. We have one life to live. I always say this, like, you have one life to live. You don't, whether we can have multiple lives, I don't know, depending on your beliefs, but you just have no memory other than this life, this moment. So go for it. I go for it all the time. There's so many things in my life that has happened, and people ask me, well, how did you achieve that? And the truth of the matter is, I was kind, I was compassionate, I was honest, I was good, I was truthful, and I had an open mind, and I'm very appreciative, and I'm really grateful. And I think when you are genuine when it comes to all those things, people do notice, people do take, they pay attention to that, because there's not a lot of people who have a lot of gratitude in their life. And I am abundant in gratitude. I'm so thankful for so many things, and I make mention of it all the time, whether it's to the person or people or just out loud to myself. I always say thank you. So dreaming big and thinking big is really important. You have this one life to do everything you want to do, and why not? Go for it. I always say go for it. Like, at the very least, if it doesn't happen or it doesn't come true, at least you can live your life knowing you tried. That's the way I see it. I don't like to live in regret, because there's so many things I could think back to where in the moment I felt like, okay, I don't know if I should do this. I'm a little bit apprehensive. But at the end of the day, and a good example is actually YouTube. I was very apprehensive of doing this, but I went for it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. Why not? And that's how it began. Truly, that's how it began. I was a little afraid because people can be really cruel, and people was really cruel. But then my skin grew so thick from this that it's really difficult to shake me now. And I have to thank YouTube for that. So think big, go for it, dream big, and don't ever give up. The final tip is to invest in yourself first. Now, this does require money, because if you want to invest in a really nice suit, go ahead. You look good. When you look good, you feel good, right? Or vice versa. Whatever it is that you need to do to invest, to elevate yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually, do it. If it means you need to go to church every Sunday, you need to go to mosque, you need to go to the temple every week. Granted, the pandemic is around, so you have to do it virtual now, but still, dedicate that time, invest in yourself first. It always bodes well for your future when you can have true understanding within your body and alignment. Alignment is the key to success, I believe. You have to know what it is that you truly want in this world. And even if that want changes from time to time, be honest with yourself about that, and invest into knowledge, invest into people, invest into time. And I treat myself well. I'm on a good budget, but I know exactly what it is that I want, because I've spent the time to figure out what that is. And you are going to spend that time to figure out what that is too. After the end of this video, you're going to know how to do it now, and take each piece and sit with it. Do not rush this process. It took me 4 years to get to this point. 4 years. And you know what? I don't regret it. I'm so grateful and so thankful for the journey that is within, and the journey that you see as well on my channel. So thank you so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate your time. I truly hope this video helps many of you, and you can reference this back at any time. Don't worry if you get tempted. Don't worry about if you broke your no buy or your low buy. The point is not to be perfect. Nobody is perfect. I am not perfect, but the point is to try. And if you fail at something, or you fall, because I don't really like the word fail, if you feel like you've, not achieved the goal that you put in mind or set in mind for that week or that month, it's okay. Just renew it and create the discipline, because that's where the sweet spot is. It's in the discipline. So thank you so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate your time. I will see you in the next video. Bye.